All right, next problem up here. First thing we're going to do, as always, sounding like a broken record, how many square feet of carpet does she need? So we're going to read that question sentence one more time because they don't explicitly say area or perimeter or side length. It says, how many square feet of carpet does she need? My party people, I have a question for you. This is asking us how many square feet, not regular feet, but square units. Can anybody tell me what that is an indicator of? Who knows, point blank? Square units is an indicator of what? Area, exactly. So that's the biggest clue that with practice, as you get through your study guides, notes, this is going to really help you out. Square feet, we are asking for area. Now that we know we're looking for area, what we're going to do is look at the information because we need to know what shape we're dealing with and what those dimensions really are, right? So let's get after that. We know that the first sentence says a homeowner wants to cover a rectangular patio. So let's highlight that. A rectangular patio with outdoor carpet. Not the best idea in the world, but okay. And then it says the patio is 14 feet long and 11 feet wide. Awesome. So we're going to highlight that too. We have the length and we have the width and we have everything we need. We just really needed to know what that key phrase, square feet, meant because I have everything I need. I know I'm looking for area. I know I'm dealing with a rectangle, so I can write my formula out immediately. Length times width. And then up next, we see that it says the patio is 14 feet long. Boom, right there. 11 feet wide, right there. And we're good to go. So 14 multiplied by 11 is what we're looking at here. Some mental math tells me that's 140 plus 14. But we can do this straight up and say 14 multiplied by 11, 4 times 1, 1 times 1. Bring that 0 down. Then we have 4 times 1, 1 times 1. Add everything back up together. And we have 4, 5, and 1, which will end up being our area as 154 square feet. And there we are, my party people. This is a great example about how knowing your formula just isn't enough. You have to know your keywords to know what formula you're actually supposed to use. And there we go, everybody. 154 feet squared, answer choice C. All right, here we have this next question where the first thing, as always, that we're going to do is we're going to read that question sentence first. And this is indeed going to be a proportions problem, so pay very close attention. Watch how I take care of this. So in the question sentence, it says, if there are this many total vehicles, again, read the key words, not the numbers. It's about what the numbers mean. So the 180 that we see here is the total vehicles. And we're asking how many motorcycles are there? Everyone, one more time before I continue, drop everything you're doing and answer that question for me. Can you confirm with your eyes that the 180 here represents the total vehicles and we are looking for motorcycles? Can we confirm that? Good, because that is the first and biggest part to succeeding in this question. So let me write this down here. We have 180 total. Let me write this down. 180 total. And we are looking for the number of motorcycles. I'll just use the letters MC for motorcycle if that's okay with you. And then if you take a look at the first sentence, this is where everyone gets confused if you got it wrong. A parking lot has motorcycles and cars in a ratio of 2:7. Help me out one more time, everybody. When I see that ratio of 2:7, the first question is going to be pretty easy. Everybody, what does the 2 represent right there? What does that 2 represent? Yeah, that 2 represents motorcycles, exactly. So I'm going to write 2 for motorcycles right over here. Because again, if I'm going to set up a proportion, we got to compare the same things in the same way. So I'm going to compare those right there above each other. Awesome. So Then it says 7. Everyone, is it fair to say that the 7 goes right here under total? Is that fair to say? Yeah, the answer to that is nope. No, N-O, no, no. And here's why. Everyone, when we read the number 7, right over here, let me grab the purple highlighter. When we see that 7 right there in purple, remember that ratios are read in the respective order. So we are comparing motorcycles and cars, not motorcycles and total vehicles. This says motorcycles and cars. So if I highlight that right there, the 7 represents cars. And for that reason, it cannot go in here. It cannot go in here. It doesn't belong in here. Instead, everyone, remind me one more time. Remind me one more time. What belongs here? What belongs here? What word? Yeah, total. Total, everyone. So think about it. Help me out. If we have 2 motorcycles for every 7 cars, what is that total? What is total? 2 plus 7, that gives us 9. So take a look. Even in a problem, in a proportion problem, where it's not perfectly spoon-fed to you, you can absolutely still get it right because you can use the information that you have to get the information you need to find the information you're looking for. So with that said, everyone, once we get the 9, again, getting the total of motorcycles and cars, once we have that 9, now we're prepared to solve this. I can eliminate this little thing right there, and now I can go ahead and compare, very carefully here, total to motorcycles, and here we go. 180 over X equals total 9 over motorcycles, which is 2. Booyah! All set, and now we're good to go. So I can cross multiply and divide if I want to. We can do other things too, because this is just times 20, and 2 times 20 is 40. But we can cross multiply if we'd like to. 9 times X, 180 times 2. And then lastly, we'll divide both sides by 9. And so once we do that, nice and easy on both sides, cancels out on the left, and we end up getting X equals 40. So we can get the answer a couple of different ways, but we couldn't get it at all unless we had the proper setup. The correct answer here, my party people, is A, 40 motorcycles. And there we are. Again, the biggest key was adding the motorcycles and cars to get the total. So there we go, everyone. On to the next one.